NFL Draft Industrial Complex is full of lizard people. 3 dudes take on our reptilian overlords.
Carnell Tate is the most overrated wide receiver in this year's draft.
The best wide receiver in this year's NFL draft is Carnell Tate.
This NFL insider lost her job on her day off.
Sunday concessions. Sunday concessions. Sunday concessions.
You guys ever shopped on Facebook Marketplace?
Too many times.
Yeah.
Too many times.
Yeah.
It's something I've newly come into, just looking around on what's on there. There's literally everything. Mm-hmm. And it's just like Craigslist, but I am so nervous that I'm going to text or message somebody that like wants to kill me. Or definitely is just Craigslist.
Yeah, you're gonna get
wants to kill
scammed
you?
for sure. Like
I don't know.
What have you done in your life
I
that
don't
people
know.
want to kill you?
I grew up with a debilitating fear that somebody was going to steal me. Don't judge me.
and that you're gonna like always catch on fire. The
Yeah.
Stop, drop, and roll
Yeah,
thing. And I'm like,
exactly.
dude, how many times in my life am I gonna catch on fire?
It's so bad.
A lot is what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Stop, drop, and roll. I mean, that was like a constant thing going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever used it.
Me and my wife have this conversation so many times where my Facebook Marketplace experiences are always negative and weird and don't go right, and then hers like always are like perfect. She meets like some really nice lady, gets a really good deal, it's all good, and then I'll go meet someone and they're like weird, twitching, not fun to talk to, and I never get anything done. I've gotten scammed off Facebook before.
Have
know
you?
that?
What did you get scammed from?
I bought a car, a 2017
Oh,
Hyundai Elantra. It was a great deal. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy deal to where you're like, okay, that's unrealistic. It was like a deal like, okay, man, I can do that. But yeah, dude, I test drove it. I put the scanner on it. No problems. I get home. It's like a 40-minute drive as soon as I got off the highway. And it's just everything lit up on the dashboard, and it just died. It just
Dang.
rolled over
No way.
and died.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was rough. I did get $1,700 out of it after that, though, so
oh, well,
made a little bit back.
it all worked out.
Yeah, I guess. It still hurts me, though.
Yeah, pain. I don't really like the whole buy, sell car process. It just stresses me out. I'd rather just have something, but right now I'm going to have to buy a new vehicle. So the last van we bought, we were looking on Marketplace, and I had an experience. Saw a really nice van for my family. We went and looked at it in Short Pump, and it was this guy, pretty nice guy, you know. He just was like, yeah, this is the van. And it was just, the deal made no sense, right? It was a pretty cheap price for a good Honda Odyssey.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense why it was so cheap. And so my sensors were up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
Spidey
know.
senses.
I don't trust this. And he was like, all right, y'all want to test drive it? We're like, cool. Yeah, let's go. And he gave me the keys, and he hopped in the front seat and buckled up. I said, dang, come on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, whoa. I didn't know you were coming with us.
Where are we going?
That's the whole point. And so, you know, like, I don't know about you. When I test drive a car, you know, I want to floor it a little bit, make sure
Yeah.
there's no noises and all this stuff. Well, he's like telling me how to drive. He's like, all right, you want to get off on this exit right here. You know, you want to go do this and that and the other. I'm like, bro, what? We got out on the interstate, and the whole time he's just sitting there going, see, it's very good, isn't it? Very good, isn't it? I'm like, but nothing came up. I mean, the engine looked clean.
Yeah.
The van was clean. There's just nothing really that I saw. And we were about to buy that van. We went to the bank, got the loan, everything straightened out. And I was like literally on the way to meet this guy. And I had one more thought in my head that I was going to look up his name. And I couldn't find, he had apparently given me a fake name. Because when I put that name in, like, it didn't come up with anybody. But it came up with some comments on like a forum page or something. And this guy, his real name was like Tony or something. And he was selling cars for a place up in like Northern Virginia that had 1.2 stars on Yelp.
gosh.
1.2 stars.
For what? Like what?
Oh, everybody was saying it was lemons, that their cars were
my
lemons.
gosh.
They were all lemons.
Yep.
And so I called the guy. I said, look, dude, you didn't tell me your name was Tony. He said, Tony what? Tony? I said, no, bro.
You listen here, Tony.
You weren't telling me the truth. And so I just want you to, I'm giving you an opportunity to come clean. And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I see you work for this place up in Northern Virginia. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I sell for everybody. I say, okay.
Wow.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I didn't end up buying that van. Glad I didn't. But
Yeah.
it's like PTSD, you know? what I mean?
Yeah.
As somebody who just bought a Honda Odyssey, though, like,
Yeah.
dude, they're sick.
Solid.
They're
Yeah.
so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides my Facebook prowling, you guys been watching Love on the Spectrum season 3?
No.
Absolutely. Just finished.
Let's
I
go.
haven't watched any of it, but I see it's getting steam like everywhere online.
It's so
Trey, it's incredible, dude. It's incredible.
it makes me cry, dude. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I
So
love it.
basically, it's a show that was created by a guy. I think he's from Australia, but he goes around with a couple different people on the show who have autism and helps them find love because a lot of people with autism struggle to have social interactions with others, and especially dating. Like, that's a whole new realm. And so it's really cool because they help them out, and I'm sure maybe there's like stuff that goes on behind the scenes we don't know, but when you watch it, it's super wholesome. And so, like, yeah, but it's like, honestly, when I watch it, I feel like it's just all my unfiltered thoughts on dates, like in the past.
Yeah.
Because they'll just, like, there's one episode where this guy's like, they're doing speed dating, and he was taught before he goes out, like, hey, you know, find out their interest. And if you have similar interests, then maybe you could be a good match. So in his mind, it's very straightforward. They need to have my interest, and that way we can match. If they don't, we are not a match.
Yeah.
So he asked the girl, do you like nature? She's like, no, not too much. He goes, got it. Does not like nature. Writes the note down on his card.
I think he like checks no, not interested right afterwards.
The beginning of the year always has like a bunch of good shows that come out.
Yeah.
Do y'all watch anything other than Love on the Spectrum?
Dude, I'm really into like almost everything Apple TV right now.
Oh.
Like Apple TV is my that's my go-to streaming service. What?
Did you finish Pluribus?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I finished it the day it came out. Like, I was watching like weekly, like as it was coming out.
Let's go.
Dude,
It's so
Pluribus
good.
is good. It's fun. It's like it's a really fun show.
I love it.
Never heard of it.
What?
Yeah. This guy's not
Wow.
cultured. This
Did you
guy-
watch Severance?
Never heard of it.
Dude, you're lying.
No.
You're actually lying, Caleb. I don't believe you right now.
I've never heard of that.
It's okay. He hasn't watched a lot of good shows.
Man.
Yeah.
I've been trying to bully him. Me and my other brother have been trying to bully him to watch Breaking Bad, which is like the best show I've ever seen in my entire life. He's like, no, I think I'll watch Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. Jeopardy's on tonight.
I have this thing. I you know, everyone has the friend who, like, when it's popular music and they gain traction, they automatically don't like their music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're that guy.
In
You're a hater.
certain aspects, I'm that guy. When it comes to shows, when it's like blowing up and it's like it's all over my social media, it's like getting ruined for me because I see it so much. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you,
but
you,
know?
you don't like the overhyped stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like
Dude,
Stranger Things, I'll never watch it.
Bro, I
stopped
watched
it.
you watching Stranger Things.
Dang, called you out, buddy.
How did you watch me watch Stranger Things?
I just saw it.
He was at your house at the
It
window.
was a vision.
You just looked through the window.
It was a vision. The first season was great. I really liked the first season. The following seasons, they had like good moments. I just was in it for the story. I thought it was very good, like writing initially, but it just went in circles, and that's my fear for Severance, right?
Yeah.
Severance first 2 seasons, brother.
I do think there are shows that just need to have like a defined ending.
Yes.
Like we wrote up to season 3 and we do not plan on doing anything further. Like, and that's where I think like a lot of like these shows really, or these production companies like really screw over shows is they're like, oh, it's a cash cow. Let's just keep like dipping into it. And they're like, well, we really didn't have anything further past this. We can't guarantee that it's going to be so good. But I don't know, man. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
Like Lost, I think is a good. Have you ever watched Lost? Come on.
I know. So we started watching Lost. My wife wants me to watch Lost, but there were just so many other shows that I wanted to watch that Lost wasn't the one.
It'll take you a long time. It'll take you a long time. It's like 120 episodes, and they're all like 45 minutes.
But I've heard it's good,
dude.
Yeah, I've heard people love that.
I love it, but it should have ended like 2 seasons prior.
Right.
But that is like a top 3 favorite show of mine.
I guess I'm more
all
of a
time.
reality TV guy.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite shows is? Cops. Great show.
Jeopardy.
More Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Walking Dead is like one of those ones that just has gone on
Oh my
far too
gosh.
long, and there's like 6 spin-off shows now.
And there's like another one like coming out.
Yeah.
Like I just saw a commercial for it, and
Yeah.
I was like, "You've got to be kidding
It's
me!
unreal.
This show is dead after season 2." Like,
I love the first like 2-3 seasons,
Yeah.
and probably up to season 4 and 5. I thought they were really good. Once you get to like Negan, it was like, all right, well, this is not that good. And
Yeah.
I remember I watched it all the way up to like season 8, and then I just couldn't watch anymore. And then when we had my second kid, I was like, I'm gonna get back into this show, and I really want to finish it because it was almost at the end. I got right to season 8 and was like, yeah, nah, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
Right
So,
this season.
bro, Severance.
Dude.
My number one
Severance?
recommendation from Apple TV.
Severance is the best show I've seen in probably like 15 years.
It's
like
so
no
good.
joke, it's
It's
legitimately
so
so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's mind bending. It's really. I can't say anything more about it.
No,
Like,
yeah.
You just got to watch it. Like when you first start watching it, the first like 20 minutes, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like you just have no idea what's happening, and it's good.
Should we talk some football stuff? It's been a little
Football?
while.
Yeah.
We had a lot of news coming out in the past week. I want to start with Miss Dianna Russini, who, as of about an hour ago, has stepped down and resigned from the Athletic. Did y'all see what was going on with her?
Oh, I think the whole NFL world. Like that's the only thing going on right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
Mike
much.
Vrabel being in the news for
What do you
all
think-
the wrong reasons.
What do you think was happening? Like, were they actually having an affair? Do you think, or do you
Well,
think it's like speculation?
I don't know, but with her resigning, like there's more of I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Sure.
Like, and I know they were with a bunch of friends.
Right.
They're with the Bussin' with the Boys guys.
Right.
They
right.
were out there with them too. So I don't know. Like you don't know what's going on. Like it may have been nothing. Like
Yeah.
it may have been just the optics and the Athletics saying we're going to let you go, but we'll let you resign. To save face.
Yeah.
Man, the NFL's slow right now.
Yeah.
It's slow
Yeah,
gearing
I
up for the
know.
draft. Like
This is what we're excited
yeah,
about.
yeah, dude. Mid-season, like this would last maybe like 2 days,
Right,
but it's
yeah.
been like a week and people are still talking about it.
Yeah, I think the hard part too is that now that because I read her resignation letter, and basically she's saying that since the incident happened, the Athletic's been trying to do an investigation, but there's just so much speculation from the media all around, and it's just easier for her to step down because that's what's best for her family. And so I've seen the question posed, like, if this is happening to her, why should something not happen to Vrabel?
Yeah,
And the best explanation I saw for that was it's moral and ethics. That for her, it's morally wrong because she has a husband if she is having an affair with Vrabel. And it's also ethically wrong for her
Right.
role as an insider.
Yep.
Whereas for Vrabel, I guess it's kind of a gray area as a head coach, to have that. Still, it's wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to argue that, Vrabel's good. Like that's going to be the hard part because I can very quickly see this, or I can very easily see this turn into a way bigger deal with the political landscape and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're a sports podcast, so we probably won't get into all the politics of it.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk about football. But,
Yeah, but a real football take is it's the Dianna Russini news, and then it's the Travis Hunter is now a full-time cornerback. Trey, are you buying this? Do you really think that he's a full-time corner?
no, I don't
Thank
buy
you.
that.
Hold the line.
No, heck no.
Hold the line.
I mean, they're saying that because it's draft season, so they're going to say whatever they want. Like they're probably targeting a corner, like
Right.
that might be what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, he got injured, and that was the whole thing is that he could play 2 positions, and he's not going to get hurt because
Right.
it didn't really happen in college for him. But he got hurt in his first season, and he wasn't even playing either position full time. I mean, I guess you could say he wasn't playing 100% of snaps on either side of the ball. But yeah, dude, I don't buy it. Until we see it. Like it's just rumors, just speculation at this point. But
Yeah. No, absolutely not. He's way too talented to be kept to one position, like as a receiver. I still can just imagine the play in my mind. Were they playing the Chiefs when Trevor just threw it deep and
that
Hunter came
catch he
back
had
for it? Oh my gosh, dude, just insane. Like that was just a pure, just like look into how talented and raw he really is as a receiver. He's great at both. But yeah, I'm not buying that. He's such a threat on either side. He's more of a threat, I think, as a receiver. So,
yeah, dude, I'm right there. I mean, obviously, like for fantasy football purposes, I was one of the guys last year saying, yeah, Travis Hunter, like he's like the most talented receiver. Yeah, he needs to be. I need him. And it was like, that was the whole talk in the offseason last year. Is he a cornerback? Is he a receiver? He can't do both, is what everybody was saying. Mm-hmm. And my argument was I thought he was going to play more offense and less cornerback because receivers are more premium position for that team.
Right.
And it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
When I was 12, I played receiver and corner. We had 13 guys in the team. I played both sides.
Were you a dog?
Well.
But
longest reception of the season.
Hey, how long?
Like 20 yards.
All right, bro.
Dang.
They were running the wing tee offense.
No. I had to climb the ladder for it, though. You don't understand. It wasn't no just like catch and fall down. This was like
high up,
top, hitting the leg, flipped around, held onto it.
Man, you could have gone pro. You and Uncle Rico.
Those are my days, man.
You could throw a football over the mountains.
All that being said, it's not that hard. You can play both sides.
Yeah. So anyway, like. It's just funny that we've come right back around to the same conversation this offseason of, is he a receiver or a cornerback? And, like, I'm here to tell you, if you think that Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers are going to be the reasons that Travis Hunter goes and plays full-time corner, you're just so naive, Like, he will probably play more snaps on defense this year out of necessity. But a talent like that, I just think when he gets on the field – it's going to be undeniable, and he just needs to show it. He had a bad luck with the injury last year. I don't think they drafted him at 2, to Trey's point, to play just corner or just receiver. And so, I don't know.
Do you think there's any smoke to them actually wanting to trade Brian Thomas Jr.?
I think there might have been early on, but I think I just don't think teams are willing to pay the price. That they want.
Yeah.
I think the Jags view him probably properly. They probably want like a first and more.
Think he's worth that?
It depends on the team fit. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Brian Thomas is very good.
I do too. I wouldn't pay that.
Would you have been more excited if you guys got Brian Thomas instead of Waddle?
Heck no. Heck no.
Really?
Not even close. No.
Wow.
Heck
interesting. No. Yeah, I just think the offense it has to be a scheme fit. And I think you saw it with Mac Jones playing for the Jags. Mac Jones is just going to close his eyes and chuck the ball, and that's what Brian Thomas needs to be at, is somebody who trusts him, deeper down the field.
Exactly.
Trevor, I don't know what it is about Trevor. He's never targeted his wide receiver one very much at all. It's always been the auxiliary guys, like a Parker Washington. Washington is like a dream fit for Trevor Lawrence.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is like, I brought that up because Parker Washington really did come on at the end of the year last year. Like I was looking at him going, wow, that guy's legit, like sneaky good.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying this to say like he's going to, that Travis Hunter is going to play corner because of Parker Washington. Right. But, it makes you start to question those other things. Like if they can get a haul back for Brian Thomas Jr., like I still think there could be a draft day trade.
Oh, I think so too, especially with the skill level of most of the draft prospects.
Yeah.
I think that's still to be seen. But, speaking of wide receiver trades, there's the rumor about A.J. Brown, that the deal is pretty much already done, that he will be traded post June 1st, and he will be a New England Patriot. And even to add into that smoke and fire is the Eagles traded for Dontavian Wicks this past week. Did you see that? So, yeah. I mean, you buying that A.J. Brown's traded? I mean, feels like it's pretty set in stone.
I don't know. This one I'm 50-50 on. I think that it could go either way, and I think that they're kind of leaking this to say, are there any other buyers? Does anybody want to come in at the last second?
Right.
And maybe they're saying all of this to really like come down to the line, and then the Patriots like never really intend on trading for him anyways, and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Like they need a receiver Although they did just sign, what's his name, to a ridiculous contract.
Don't say Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, I could not believe that, man. It was like $90 million.
He was like the best one in free agency.
God,
you know you're down bad when he's the best
crazy.
option in free agency.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
Irritating.
That just reminds me of like the Christian Kirk season when he was like the best free agent.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, they got burned by him.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's going to be the exact thing that happens to New England.
Yeah.
Because they overpaid for a receiver that's
He's a role player.
he's good. He's
Yeah.
fine, but he's not $90 million receiver.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I think AJ to the Patriots would be beautiful. I
that'd
did
be
see
good.
something hilarious that the Eagles' new OC is Sean Mannion, the OC from the Packers, ex-OC from the Packers. And somebody said, well, the good news about the Wicks trade is that Sean Mannion is probably very familiar with how good Dontavian Wicks is. The bad news is that Sean Mannion is also very well-versed in Dontavian Wicks' skill level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny. There's a lot of people on fantasy Twitter that like swear that Dontavian Wicks is a dog and that like if he was just in a better offense that he'd be an all-star. And I don't know. He just can't catch.
Yeah.
I've been saying the same thing about Jaden Reed for like 3 years now.
Yeah. You can die on that hill. I'll probably be saying the same thing about Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that's
You know.
true. I think Jordan Love still sucks though.
Yeah. We're 9 days away from the draft. NFL
Yeah.
draft. I cannot believe, dude, it feels like time is flying.
Yeah.
Draft.
Really excited for that. Did you see the news about Reuben Bain?
Yes.
Yes.
I
I
did
did.
not.
Also, real quick on Reuben Bain. I had not seen a picture of him without his helmet on.
Oh, dude.
Why does that man look like he's 43 years old? Like, it's crazy. His hairline is like up here already.
It's
Like,
way far back.
Man. But I kind of like it. Like
Yeah.
it reminds me of like the 60s and the 70s.
He's
and I'm
old
like,
school, baby.
yeah, he's like an old school linebacker, man.
Yep,
like,
nothing wrong
that's
with
what
that.
he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you off.
you're good. You're good. Yeah. So since you didn't know, there was news that was dropped this past week about Reuben Bain and that he was in a car accident that was potentially caused by his like craziness. It was caused by him, and one person died from that car crash.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And all respect to that person and their family. I don't really know who that is, but respect to them. This isn't about them. This is more about just the fact that this news came up this close to the draft, because
Yeah.
stuff like this comes out. I was listening to Todd McShay earlier, and he was talking about how this was known by a lot of people, but hadn't been brought up, and that a lot of times stuff like this gets brought up because it gets lots of clicks and gets
Yep.
lots of people to follow, and
Right.
so just a warning to not just fall for everything that comes up in social media. It's draft season. There's going to be all kinds of things that come up. Teams might be even releasing this stuff so that guys can fall. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. But
Yeah.
I know the Dallas
Very
Cowboys are
manipulative.
just licking their chops if they could get Reuben Bain at 12.
If only they had a star pass rusher, man.
Yeah.
If only they had one.
That's all. They're 1-star pass rusher away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So, real quick before we start talking draft, I just want everybody to look at these 2 shirts these guys have. Show that off to the camera.
That's what I was gonna say.
see.
I like your shirt, T.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Trey, tell us about these.
Dude, it looks sick.
Look at that.
All right, so
360.
here at FanFeed Network, Sunday Concessions, we made shirts, we made logos for every single NFL team.
Let's go.
And today, our shop is opening. Go check it out. We got a lot of stuff. Every team has multiple designs. We've got some FanFeed gear. This is what it looks like on the back. I'm gonna put a little image of it right there.
You should keep that in. You saying?
I'm gonna put a little image right over top of me so you guys can see what it looks like on the back. But yeah,
Let me see.
yeah. Caleb's wearing a Steelers one. I'm wearing a Broncos one. They're all sick, dude.
Yeah.
Every single one. Some of my favorite ones. I hate to say this. Kansas City is
Yep.
a really good one.
Yep.
It's like
No way.
it's really cool, like a barbecue style tattoo.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks so cool.
I kind of want one for each team.
I know.
I don't know why.
man.
I just
I know.
do.
There-
Because it's a cool shirt.
There are some that I just would not wear because I don't want to. I don't want people to think I, represent the Chargers or
Right.
Raiders or the Chiefs
Or the Packers.
or the Packers.
You'll be okay.
That's not on brand for us to put on a Packers shirt. We're
Yeah.
very anti-Packers here.
Yeah. I'm not anti-Packers. I just don't think Jordan Love is very good.
I'm anti-Packers.
We just think they're bad.
Yeah. I just think they're overrated. That's all. But yeah, Washington also. The Commanders one is so sick. That one's got like the. You'll see. You guys just have to go check it out. Fanfeednetwork.com. But we got stuff for every team, and we got some bundles too. It's so cool. We got some memberships, man. You can sign up to be a member, and you can immediately save like 20% off of everything. Just immediately. Yep.
That's
And
so
the top 2 tiers are free shipping always. So if you only come and spend $20, you still get free shipping on it.
Does it make sense to join just at least once 1 month and
get
your deal?
Yeah, it makes sense to like, because everything's half off your first month. So like the first one, for instance, is like, you can join for like $250. You can join like for free, like just to have a membership.
$250, right?
250 cents.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
good.
250 cents. And like that'll get you 10% off everything. The next one up is like, I forget what all the prices are. But like the upper tier is like $20. And it's half off. You get it your first month for $10. You can literally pay for that and then buy all your stuff. We've got a bundle where you get a hoodie, a hat, and dude, show me your hat.
I gotta show off the hat. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that thing.
Look
man.
at that thing.
Get up closer.
Pittsburgh Steel.
Let
me see.
You have to move up closer, Cam.
You like that?
Yeah, do it 360.
Again? I already did it for the fantasy show and got a lot of negative reviews. But no, the hat is sick. I was gonna say the best part about this because usually you get merch and like it just doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
It feels weird, and I'm a bigger guy, so like I like how I want my shirts to be a little looser, but not too loose, not make me look fat. Like Target shirts, they put the armpit out here. Just the more sizes you go up, and so it doesn't get any longer; it just gets wider. And I look like I don't know, Boy Louie. But that's really got him giggling. This stuff all fits so good. That dad hat, man, the dad hat feels so good. Like I've had dad hats that don't like fit properly on my head, but it like squeezes on. Shameless promotion. This stuff is like sick quality and just good logos. We even got the FanFeed Network logo on the back. That'll probably be reversed. But
And you got the new cut, with the flow coming out the back of the hat.
Oh, come on, man.
You cleaned up on the sides.
New cut not included, but I can give you my barber's number.
I was hoping the Edgar cut was underneath that.
Dude.
What was you that he took it off?
Yeah. Hey, man, if we get like 1,000 subscribers and the 1,000 new subscribers in the first month of being here, I will get the Edgar cut.
Dang.
100%.
You guys heard it.
So if we get 1,000 new subscribers by what month is it? By June 1st, by the time A.J. Brown gets traded, I will get the Edgar cut.
Let's go.
Promise. And I will
Let's
keep
go.
the mullet.
Dang.
Edgar cut mullet
That's
combo.
disgusting.
I'll do it.
That's
That's with a new job.
Man, I'll do something.
What will you do?
I'll shave my legs.
Oh man.
Hey!
No, we want you to shave one leg. Just one leg.
Yeah.
Just horrible because it's summertime and I wear shorts now at work.
You have to wear the pants with the zip off sleeves at the bottom. That's what you have to do for a whole year.
That's right. You just volunteered for this. He said, "I'll do something."
Hey man, I want to be included. Sounds fun.
Please pick me. But yeah, we'll also have some information. We are probably going to be doing a live stream event for the NFL draft for round 1.
Nice.
In some way, shape, or form, where we will just be live reacting to picks, talking about our favorite picks, talking about the falls, reacting to Mel Kiper's meltdowns, just whatever. So if you guys aren't doing anything draft night and you want to hang out with us, make sure you check us out over on Sunday Concessions YouTube. A ton of fun stuff coming up. So make sure you are following us and keeping up with everything.
Come check that out.
And come check that out. We
there
still
are-
got the fantasy pod coming out on Thursday.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
a lot of good things.
But the draft one in particular, if you guys like free stuff,
Yes. Free
hint,
free subscriptions.
stuff?
free stuff.
Free
Where?
hats, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. But
What are we getting?
yeah, anyway, let's talk draft because it's draft season. Today, our big goal, we're going to correct the expert mock.
Yep.
All right? We're going to take a look at the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Schrager's most recent mock draft. It was released last Tuesday, and we're going to go through most of these picks. We might scan over a few. We're going to spend a lot of time on the first 10 to 15, I would think. We'll probably scan over the ones at the back end, but those are all so dependent on the top half of the draft.
Right.
And we're going to say, whether we agree with this pick or whether we think it should be changed, whether this doesn't fit this team's needs, different stuff like that. And we're going to give you all our honest opinions. Once again, this is Peter Schrager's mock draft 1.0. And I will say, a lot of these expert mocks, they're not really mocking what they think is going to happen. They're mocking things to get reactions from teams, to get more info. And so we want to spot that. We're going to help you guys spot that stuff because we don't want you to be gaslit. Don't believe the lies, right?
Yep. Don't believe the hype.
So,
Stay
number
grounded.
1, this guy's off his rocker, Fernando Mendoza, 101.
Oh, my.
At number 1,
He's
that's
just rage baiting
great.
at this point,
This
bro.
is
He's just
ridiculous.
rage baiting at this point.
I don't know how he can sit there and say Fernando Mendoza is going to go at number 1.
Yeah. no.
Goodness.
Wrong.
I think this is just the easiest pick of the draft, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
We can skip this.
the highest quality position.
Yep.
Team needs a quarterback. I don't think there's any reason to go anywhere else.
Might
And-
not be the Raiders. Go back and check episode 1.
Yeah,
and you'll
episode
find out
1,
why.
We talked about trading down. I just think that would be the move. The pick 2 is really where this shifted. So all the betting lines shifted after Schrager dropped this mock a week ago. So number 2 for the longest time has been Arvell Reese to the Jets. And now it has shifted since then to David Bailey. And it's crazy because it's like almost everybody's like, yeah, it's Bailey. Like after everybody was so on Arvell Reese, this is just a massive shift. Are we buying this?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Bruh.
I'm sticking with Arvell. I think Arvell is just insane. And he reminds me of Micah Parsons, how he can play almost 2 positions and be all over the field and be so athletic and good at each position.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just a game changer. He's so quick. He's all over the place. It's a no-brainer. You don't ever think it. Honestly, though, I wouldn't even hate if they took Reuben Bain here.
Dang.
I love Reuben Bain,
I
and
love
I
Reuben
don't know
Bain.
why he's dropped so far. I don't care that his arms are short. Maybe because of the news that you was just told to me like 10 minutes ago. I don't know if that's changed things.
Right.
But that's insane. I don't think Reuben Bain should be falling out of the top 5.
Yeah. The biggest thing with Reuben Bain is that, there hasn't been a player in the last 20 years that's had arms shorter than 31 inches drafted in the first round. So that's the biggest fear for all these teams is they like to compare guys. You know how we hear like comps?
Right.
They love comps. NFL scouts love comps.
But you know what's funny about that is like they look at all this history. Oh yeah, we haven't done this, we haven't done that. But it's like you miss on so many players.
Right.
Like it's so weird. It's like why would you look at history where you have like such a large failure rate?
Right.
I don't know. To me, it's like just watch the tape. If somebody can play, they can play. Like that. I don't know, man. You just need to watch them and do your homework there, not focus so much on the small things.
But I'm sure there's some influence from last year's draft too, right? So the Jags trade up to number 2 to take Travis Hunter at pick 2, who is a unicorn. They haven't had a player since Deion Sanders that played both ways, and Troy Brown from the Patriots, but he didn't really play both ways that much. But so you get Travis Hunter drafted to the Jags, and just kind of an up and down season. Showed some promise, but then has the injury in like week 7 or 8, and it just was a lot of risk. Now the Jags don't have a first-round pick this year because they traded so much just to move up to get him. So I'm sure teams are looking at that going, well, look at the risk that the Jags took, and would you say it paid off for them? And, I don't know. I'm not saying that's the right way to look at it. I'm just saying that's how I think teams are viewing it. I think the reason Bailey has switched with Arvell Reese is the fact that Arvell Reese is also a guy who he played kind of all over the field, and teams are wanting to draft him at edge. They want him to be an edge, and you don't draft a linebacker at pick 2. They want an edge guy, and he just still has some development to do as an edge rusher, whereas David Bailey's kind of
That's okay.
David Bailey's also got shorter arms.
Yeah.
Not too short, but shorter. But he's already a set edge rusher who's pretty good, and I think that's why they're putting him here at 2. I like it. I think it's probably smarter. Takes the risk out. Now it brings number 3, pick 3, a big question mark because we got the Arizona Cardinals, and Schrager has Arvell Reese going here. But This could also be a huge trade down spot. I don't know, Caleb. What do you think the Cardinals should be doing?
You know, a lot of speculation about Cardinals taking tackle here as well. I just don't think any of the tackles are good enough to be going in the top 3 pick. So, honestly, I wouldn't hit the trade down right here at all for Arizona. They need help in a lot of different areas, especially in the defense. You know, just getting Arvell, Reese, or David Bailey, or Reuben, Bain, whoever it may be, it's going to help, but it's not going to fix everything. So I think trading down would be beautiful. Getting one of these like middle round tackles, I'm kind of looking at Dallas, man.
Yeah.
I think this could be a great spot for them to trade picks with Dallas, move back, gain some extra value on the draft. I think that'd be stellar.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
So I'll give you a trade scenario because I've seen that exact thing. I've seen people kind of talking about that is Cardinals trade pick 3 for the Cowboys 12 and 20. And then the Cardinals also trade away pick 35, the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. Would you do that trade if you are Dallas? So trade your 12 overall and 20 overall for the 3rd overall and pick 35.
If you love him.
Yeah.
If you are in love with Arvell Reese at 3,
Right.
then sure.
Yep.
But you have to be sure.
Yep.
Like, you have to be sure. Like, this is the guy. Like, this was always our number 1 guy, the guy we wanted to trade the farm to go get. Like, I don't know. Trading 12 and 20 is expensive. Like,
Right.
that's I don't even know if I don't know that Arizona would take that.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, for the number 3 pick?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That seems a little bit, and giving up 35, like, I don't think they would do that.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the Cardinals get an extra pick back later rounds. You know, maybe a future 3rd or
Yeah.
future 4th.
Yeah, something
or
like that,
maybe
yeah.
something like that. I kind of threw something out, but I agree. I think it is expensive. But here's the thing. This draft lacks a lot of blue chip prospects.
True. That's true.
And so
Most
Arvell Reese
definitely.
is a guy that, very similar to Parsons, Caleb brought it up earlier, that he played multiple positions and, he's just a freak athlete. He's a freak on the field. Cowboys really searching for that edge rush replacement for Micah Parsons. And,
Yep.
they have an extra 1st-round pick, so why
Yeah.
not trade up and go get him?
Exactly.
What are
they're
they
not
gonna do
gonna
at
get it
12 and
later in the
20?
rounds? Exactly. And look at the team, what they did this past year. They got absolutely wrecked on defense,
Yeah.
and the offense was wrecking other defenses. So yeah, get your game changer. Get the big play guy. Put him on your defense. Start building it back up, and get rid of those corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, just looking at the trade value chart.
Yep.
So Arizona currently at number 3. The pick value is roughly 2,200 points. Dallas's both 12 and 20 combined for 2,050. So you're still
Like
still
150 short. So
short.
probably like a 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Something
Yeah.
like that.
And I think the Cowboys would probably be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah. But I guess it does make it a little bit easier because they trading away Micah Parsons last
Right.
year. You got a haul for that. But I don't know. I mean, part of you also is like maybe not. Like maybe we don't because if they are like moving into like a pseudo rebuild,
Right.
Maybe they want to hang on to those picks and I don't know.
This is really, I think, where the draft starts. Like, if David Bailey goes at 2,
Yeah.
then this is where the draft really starts, and we have no idea where anybody's going.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing. So Schrager, just funny how time works. Schrager was on Pat McAfee's show today, and he talked about how this draft, you can kind of just toss it. So, whatever. It's a
Yeah.
moot point. One of the biggest pieces of news he gave out was that the Cardinals are very flexible. They would love to trade out,
Sure.
but only if the value's right. I think they're looking forward to quarterback next year, so they'd love to get picks next year.
You don't think they're looking this year?
Well, after Mendoza's gone,
Yeah.
the talk was that they could trade back into the back end of the 1st and get Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
But with this pick, there is apparently some pretty strong voices in Cardinals camp that is like banging the table for Jeremiyah Love.
Dang.
What?
Yeah, nuts.
Dang. Over James Conner?
And this has been a piece of news that's kept coming up in the past week.
Yeah.
Which is really wild that they would even entertain the idea of going Jeremiyah Love. I mean, I just talked last week about how I think running backs are overrated. And then, drafting, I just don't think it's optimal to draft a running back in the top 5.
Yeah.
Trade out and get that value.
It rarely works out,
Yeah.
especially for the team that drafted them. Like, think about Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley. Like, Saquon, I know, won a Super Bowl, but not with the team that drafted him. Right? So it's just, I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for, I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, even if they're like, generational, quote unquote, prospects at the running back position, like, I don't know.
How many wins was Ezekiel Elliott adding to the Cowboys that Tony Pollard couldn't have provided? A similar level. Maybe 1 to 2 games in the course of a season.
Right.
Which, that's a big deal. But
I will say Saquon probably added a lot. They
Well,
had,
for
they
the
had
Giants,
a really
they were
bad
really
team.
bad.
Yeah, they were
They
really
were
bad.
really
Saquon
bad.
probably added like 6
but
of their 6.
Cardinals just have so many needs, and I really do think that if they don't go for Ty Simpson later, if that's not in their plans, then they need to bulk up the offensive line. But we'll move on to the Titans. Here, Schrager has Tennessee taking Jeremiyah Love at pick 4. This is another shocking one. I just don't think he should be going that high. I know he's probably one of the better players in the draft.
Yeah.
But his position's just expendable. I don't know. What would you do, Caleb, at pick 4 if you're the Titans?
Not Jeremiyah Love, man. I love him. I think he's great. He's an incredible prospect. Going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. But just, you have a top 5 pick, man. And I don't think people realize how tough it is to obtain a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
It is so tough to get there. And like you said, like when you're thin on these blue chip type players, you don't go spending on a running back. Right here, I'm more looking at probably realistically more the Reuben Bain or Spencer Fano, maybe.
Yeah.
As the first tackle off. I think Fano's a little more developed than like Francis Mauigoa.
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 He's got that Hawaiian last name.
I like Francis, but I think Spencer Fano you can plug in immediately. And you look at the build of the Tennessee Titans right now. They just got their QB last year who had very good flashes, but needed help. He was the only guy in the offense. Only guy. No running backs. No receiver help. O-line was kind of falling apart on him. So, yeah, I think you start in the trenches, get him an O-line help, or, like I said, if Reuben Bain's there, get Reuben Bain, add that piece of the defense. I like either pick there. I don't know.
Titans had the 30th ranked passing game last year. I think you have to give him a weapon.
Right.
Or, like you said, a tackle. Something to help Cam Ward. Like, that is what... I mean, they got Wandale and they got Calvin Ridley, right? Like, those are the two...
King Dale.
Yeah. Wandale. But yeah, I agree. And then, obviously, edge is, like, a big thing for them. They don't have like, any pressure. I think they had, like, -3 pressures last year. Like,
They were
it was
bad.
crazy.
Their secondary is, like, very...
Yeah. It's sticky. They're
good.
sticky,
I think they lost somebody in their secondary to free agency this year.
I think you're right.
It's because he didn't want to face Wandale in
Jason
practice.
McCourty. Just kidding. That's an old player.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is where you start looking at receiver.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing.
You going
Yeah.
Carnell at
I'm
4?
in lockstep.
I would.
This early?
Yeah, Carnell Tate, I would take so early. Top
Yeah.
5, 100%. Absolutely.
I think teams need to learn from how the Buccaneers have built over the last few years. Like last year when they drafted Emeka Egbuka, everyone was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why are you taking Egbuka? You've got Mike Evans. You've got Chris Godwin. You got Jalen McMillan, who's a young guy coming up.
Yeah.
You're spending all this capital at receiver. And look at what happened last year. You had Mike Evans be banged up.
Yep.
Chris Godwin was banged up.
Yeah.
Jalen McMillan, almost
the
was
season
paralyzed.
started,
Yeah, during the preseason. And Egbuka stepped into a starting role almost week 1.
And Tez Johnson.
And Tez Johnson
I was about
played
to say,
great.
and
Yeah.
he still wasn't as good as Tez Johnson.
Yeah, they took two hits at receiver. They took Tez later. So, with younger quarterbacks, I think it's so crucial to surround them with weapons. Even Bryce Young got Tataroa last year, and that helped him a lot.
Yeah.
Tataroa won the Rookie of the Year. So, I think that I don't think it should be off the table that Carnell Tate should go here. But from what I've heard, the other thing is you got to think about Robert Saleh coming in and being a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
A big thing with them is fast edges, and But here's the thing: if Arvell, Reese, and David Bailey are gone, who are they going for? There's really not another edge guy at this point of the draft.
It's like Caleb said, like Reuben Bain is there, but do you want to take edge 3
Right.
at pick number 4?
Right.
Right. It's like it's like the fantasy football thing. It's like if all the wide receivers and running backs are off the board, would you rather have wide receiver 6 or wide receiver 7 or tight end 1?
Right.
Like that's the question.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, I mean, I would lean more towards the receiver here. Just looking at this list. Yeah. If I'm them, I want as much as I want the Giants to get Carnell Tate at pick number 5. I think the smart move would be for Tennessee to take Tate.
I think that's the fastest
4.
thing to help Cam Ward's development.
Yeah,
and I think Carnell Tate is very, very good.
Is he like your wide receiver 1? He's obviously
he's
very much
wide
mine.
receiver 1A.
Yeah,
I think Tyson.
Yeah.
So Jordyn Tyson
Yeah.
is a very close 1B. He's working out on the 17th for teams. He's had a hamstring injury, and this is going to answer a lot of questions because, if he tests well there, then could be wide receiver 1 easy.
Yeah.
I think he had a better production profile.
I think he's wide receiver 1.
But it depends on this injury stuff. He tore his ACL, MCL, broke his collarbone, and now has a hamstring injury. So he's kind of had some durability issues that teams are confused about, which, spoiler alert, stay a little bit longer because there's some fire in this mock draft. But we'll just go to pick 5. New York Giants. This is another one that could kind of flip-flop. Schrager's got Francis Mauigoa, going to the Giants. This has often been the Sonny Styles spot, having that athletic running back. And I'll tell you this, John Harbaugh being the new head coach, this is like a statement pick. A lot of coaches like to make a statement pick in their first year with a new team. And 2 things he said is that they have to be able to run the ball and they have to be able to stop the run. Because if a team is getting 4 yards per carry against them, then he's like, we're dead. There's no point. So, I don't know. What do you think? Sonny Styles, Francis Mauigoa, do you have a leaning here?
No. To that question, no. Yeah. I wanted to really quick touch on this and say what I think the Giants should do. Yeah. I think the Giants should actually trade up to 3, get ahead of Tennessee, and go for Carnell Tate.
For Carnell.
That's what I would do.
Dang.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Y'all be loving some Carnell
Dude,
Tate.
I like some Carnell
Hey,
Tate.
man, if you
I can't get with it.
You just, again, I said this last week, but imagine him with Malik Neighbors and with Cam Scatterbo and
sick.
Jackson Dart.
Nasty.
Dude, it would be
disgusting.
Sick. It'd be like a top 3 offense immediately.
Or imagine the Giants go out and trade for Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Pair him up with his teammate Malik Neighbors. Now that's what I call nasty.
And then drafting Carnell Tate.
And then trade for Jaden Daniels so you can just bring the LSU boys
back.
Hey.
Go get Justin Jefferson.
I do love this as a Carnell Tate landing spot.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of good Carnell Tate landing spots, and I'm really going to be sad on draft day because I feel like he's going to go to one of these spots that's just so desolate. Yeah. But, I like the Carnell Tate there. I think that they'll probably lean. I think this is right from Schrager. Probably take the top O lineman on the board to establish the run.
More than likely.
Or Sonny Styles, just because John Harbaugh had the Ray Lewis for a short time, and he knows how dominant a middle linebacker can be in the league.
Yeah.
I really liked Caleb Downs here for a while, too.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a sweet pick to pair with such a good D-line they already had. They were really hurting in the secondary this past year, and Caleb Downs is all over the place, but I guess people don't like Caleb Downs as much as I do. So
apparently teams are very high on Caleb Downs. In fact, this guy's mock draft got basically ridiculed because he had number 12 to the Cowboys, Caleb Downs. And teams have said, no way is he there.
He's not dropping to 12. No chance.
It can't happen.
I do think that the Giants actually do go tackle, though, because like if you look at Harbaugh's his history of picking first round wide receivers, and I mean it's not all him, I know that, but at the same time they had Marquise Brown,
Rashad
Bateman, they got Rashad Perryman 10 years ago or whatever, like nobody that actually clicked. Nobody.
Zay Flowers is like the best pick they had.
And he's like first. Okay. He's like
right.
He's like decent.
So
I don't know. I guess I don't trust them to take a wide receiver.
Well, in your top 5,
And Jackson Dart was like running for his life a ton last year, and I think that's where it starts. Like you have to protect your quarterback. Same as in Tennessee. With Cam Ward. So
And the good thing about Mauigoa too is that he does have some flexibility. Could play some guard. So there will probably be a spot for him to start on that O line. if the tackle spot isn't where they want to put him. But yeah, I think that's a very interesting pick there. A lot of options they could go. Number 6, Schrager's got Spencer Fano coming here, which is pretty early compared to most drafts. But I love it. Fano's another guy who played a lot of tackle, but also played all along the line.
Yeah.
This is also a sneaky Carnell Tate spot. This feels like the Carnell Tate
This
spot.
feels like the Carnell
But
Tate
this
spot.
this has been the spot that has been most mocked as Carnell Tate going to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know. What do
Shame.
y'all think?
Yeah.
Y'all like
it was
this?
nice knowing him.
Yeah, exactly. So much for my love for Carnell
Yeah,
Tate.
yeah.
I will not be
It
drafted.
ended the day the Cleveland Browns drafted him.
I don't know. What do you think, Cabes?
Yeah, this is a weird one. The Browns had a very solid defense last year. Obviously, always places to improve, but how much of that defense was Myles Garrett?
Right.
Also, and then you look at the offense, and you just never had anything clicking. I think, why am I forgetting his name? The rookie running back they drafted.
Quinshon.
Yeah, I think they did like having an identity running with Quinshon, so I could definitely see a tackle being taken here by them to shore up the line, and then whoever plays quarterback, Shadeur or Deshaun, try to get something
Dylan Gabriel?
going.
Yeah, why not
DG? Kenny Pickett?
Joe Flacco.
He's with
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
this
you
could
know?
go. This could go a lot of different ways. I wouldn't hate any of them. Yeah, I don't really have one set guy that I would like to see go here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think whoever goes to the Browns just withers away eventually anyway.
Yeah, I think if you're the Browns
Depressing.
and you're building, they're looking forward to 2027 to
Yeah.
get a quarterback. Everybody's looking to 2027 after Mendoza goes number 1 here. So I think it's smart to go early on the line. Just keep building that O-line. You will never regret building through the trenches.
Yeah.
I don't think that edge, I don't think Reuben Bain's the pick, although that would be a nasty combo of Bain
That'd be
and
sick.
Garrett on that
Yeah.
line.
That'd be sick.
But yeah, let's move to the Commanders. So
Real quick.
yeah.
Imagine being like pick number 6 and like that's the worst place to be in the draft. Is like, oh, okay. Usually it's like the first few teams, like
Yeah.
those are like the worst ones, and you're like, I don't want to go to those teams, but it's like I would much rather go ahead of number 6 or
Right.
after number 6,
Right.
you know. And then that's just like, oh my gosh,
If I get drafted 6 to the Cleveland Browns, I'm pulling an Eli Manning.
yeah.
My dad said you got to trade me.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. Here.
My daddy owns the NFL.
Messing around.
Your daddy may swim on the lake, but my daddy owns the lake. All right, moving to the Commanders. Commanders have a lot of needs.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs would be a great
Caleb
pick.
Downs.
Downs
This is
is
where
sick.
you're going, my friend.
Schrager has Sonny Styles here, which
Nah.
that has Styles dropping, which I could see. Here's the argument: is that Dan Quinn loves his athletic linebackers.
For sure.
Fred Warner
Yep.
over there in whatchamacallit?
San Fran.
San Fran. Yeah, I think Dan Quinn likes the athletic linebackers, but I do love Caleb Downs.
Dude,
here
Caleb,
too.
this is where they need to go. Who's even out there? I don't even know the guys that are out there in Washington playing safety. Quinn.
yeah,
Quinn
no
is
idea.
one of them.
Yep. Chin. Jeremy
Chin.
Chin.
Jeremy Chin?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyways,
Jeremy Chin.
this
I don't
just
even
seems
think he
like
plays
a
with them anymore.
perfect spot for Caleb Downs. Like they need help in the secondary.
Yes,
Yeah.
they get torched
Yeah.
routinely.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
And the good thing about like a lot of these safeties coming out is they can play like that hybrid linebacker role.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what he would do necessarily, but it's an option, you know.
This would be the team I want to see draft Jeremiyah Love. I think they love
interesting.
Jeremiyah Love, but if he drops out of that top 5, survives the top 5, then number 7 I think is where his sliding stops.
Yeah.
Just
Jeremiah Love
pairing-
would immediately come into the NFL and be the best J Love
yeah,
in the NFL.
exactly. But yeah, him and Jordyn in the backfield.
Yeah.
I just think that's like what dreams are made of.
Yeah.
Also, don't hate a receiver here.
That's what
you
I was
know?
gonna say. I was gonna go a different
Carnell
route.
Tate.
This would be my dream spot for a receiver to go right here.
Yeah.
Jordyn Tyson with Washington with Jaden Daniels on the other side of Scary Terry.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that'd be beautiful. I think that'd be great because we forget that Jaden Daniels barely played his second year in the NFL because of injuries, and he just was hurting a little bit too. And this is supposed to be your franchise QB. Keep him happy, keep him moving, get him help.
Yeah.
So I would love that, but I guess it's kind of tough to really commit to a wide receiver prospect who's supposed to be going a little bit later
Right.
when you have so many needs of the defense. So, Yeah, I think one of these main guys, the Caleb Downs or the Sonny Styles, I don't think either one would really be too bad.
Yeah.
I can see either one.
Yeah. I think they have a lot of good picks there. This is also because Washington doesn't have a ton of picks in this draft. They're also a prime trade down candidate. In fact, I saw somebody talking about the Steelers trading up to 7 because they have so many picks in this year's draft. They have like 3 thirds and 2 fourths. If they were to pair up pick 21 with 2 thirds and a fourth, do you think the Commanders would take that to move back, 14 spots?
Does that sound like a Mike McCarthy type move?
I don't know. I don't know Mike McCarthy's draft tendencies, honestly.
He seems very risk averse.
But I'll tell you,
he
Omar
seems
Khan.
like a very nervous person to me.
Yeah, but it really wouldn't be his call. It'd be Omar Khan.
True,
Which
that's
GM
true.
Omar Khan's been wheeling and dealing since he got in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, really the reason they traded up for Broderick Jones, which, didn't really go the way they wanted it to, but they're a very willing trade partner, and there's no way that they're going to be using all the draft picks that they have. So they're either trading up here or they're trading up into the back of the first round, I would think, or in the second round. So, if the Steelers traded up, wide receiver all the way.
Yeah.
I just think it set it in stone, set it and forget it.
Jordyn Tyson?
Jordyn Tyson, I would love. I would love Carnell Tate. Yeah.
Dude, every pick is Carnell Tate.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean-
you look at the Saints next, and you're like, they just traded away Rashid Shaheed. Like, get Carnell Tate. Like,
Next pick, New Orleans ends up stopping the slide of Reuben Bain Jr. He goes to New Orleans at pick 8. I love this pick for them, although just because I love Reuben Bain. Although this would be a great spot for Carnell Tate.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like every team could use a Carnell
Every team
Tate.
could use a receiver like
Carnell's
Carnell.
gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Everyone's
not.
gone.
He's not gone
Yeah,
yet.
gone.
He's been
I don't
drafted
care.
like 6 times.
Yeah, I just think all these teams need receiver. To Trey's point,
Yeah.
like all these teams could use a Carnell Tate,
Yeah.
either as wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. We've seen how valuable it is to have multiple receivers on a team, and with Tyler Shuck, get Chris Olave paired up with Carnell Tate.
Yeah. And Carnell Tate just like he's every archetype. He's not just some like small guy. I think he's like 6'2". Is that right? 6'2", a little over 200 pounds.
Yep.
He fits any scheme, honestly. It's not like he's going to get somewhere and he's not going to know what to do, or they're not going to know how to use him. He can fit any offense currently right now and immediately start contributing.
Yeah.
And that's what Ohio State is so good at, is putting out consistent receivers who just contribute right away, are just super solid. But I'm just not really sold on his ceiling, to be honest with you. I feel like his ceiling is kind of capped. I feel like he's always going to be in that like wide receiver 15 to 30 range. I just can't see him being much more than that, to be honest with you. But I could be wrong.
I think you're wrong. I can't wait to call this pod.
We know,
I
Trey.
can't wait to call this pod Glazing Carnell Tate.
Yeah. Sunday Concessions featuring Carnell Tate.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
every episode has Carnell
Tate.
Tate
That's
like
right.
popping out of a random corner.
Hey, man, 2 for 2.
Yeah. Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
But I do love Reuben Bain here. I think
Yeah.
that's actually the smartest pick for the team. Get you a guy who's going to routinely set the edge. And I've said this before, but the Reuben Bain stuff, like the short arms, yeah, okay, we haven't had a lot of guys with short arms, but you watch this guy play, he's disgusting.
He's filthy.
And then, you think back to guys who did have sub 31-inch arms. You had James Harrison, Dwight Freeney, these guys who are perennial all-pro, they're probably Hall of Famers. Freeney I don't think is yet. James Harrison has got to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, so good.
Yeah.
So, there's some guys that are just built different. I think Reuben Bain's just built different. But let's move on to my favorite pick of this entire draft.
Dang.
Kansas City Chiefs. They take the first receiver off the board, and it's not Carnell Tate.
Yeah.
It's Jordyn Tyson.
Tyson.
So this is assuming that Jordyn Tyson works out well at his pro day, and that the Chiefs are like, yeah, we're going all in. We're not going to just use this pick to replace, what's his name?
Hollywood.
McDuffie, Trent McDuffie.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to, give Mahomes another weapon so that we can be that high-flying offense we used to be. I love this pick. This is my favorite pick of this whole mock draft. What do y'all think?
Really?
Yes, Kansas City needs a receiver.
Yes.
Like, they have 2 very average receivers.
Yeah.
And they're getting left in the dust. Like, there are other receivers in the AFC. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
There are other receivers in the AFC West that are better than both of their receivers.
Yeah.
And they do need somebody here. Similar to the Giants, I could actually see them trading up a few spots.
Yeah.
Like going 6 or 7.
Yep.
And just grabbing if it's Jordyn Tyson or if it's Carnell Tate, doesn't matter.
Yep.
But I could see them doing that because they struggled offensively, and with Eric Bieniemy coming back into town, he no longer has. We said this too. He no longer has Tyreek Hill. He no longer has prime Travis Kelce, right? So he's got to get somebody who he can use in the system, and I just don't think either one of these guys that they have right now, Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice, I don't think they fit that mold that he's looking for.
Yeah.
And so.
They're just kind of gimmicky guys.
Right, exactly.
Know? They do really well at certain things,
Yeah.
but they don't have a receiver like a do-it-all guy.
Yeah.
That's what they've been searching for, and Tyson offers that. As long as he can stay healthy, great pick.
Yeah, I completely disagree.
Bruh.
Who are they getting?
I
Caleb?
love the Mansour Delane pick, honestly. I don't think you ever think it. Honestly, Mahomes, you got the best QB in the league. I don't care. He's still the best in the league, even after the ACL. Sorry about it, Trey.
He's not, but okay.
But you get your OC back, and you think back to last year, the past couple years, there's been no run game in the offense at all. We've been looking at Kareem Hunt is the scariest piece in the run game.
Right.
So defenses are like, okay, it's just the in-and-out route by Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice, or they're going to sling one deep every now and then to Xavier Worthy. It's very easy to predict, and yeah, it's hard to function as an offense like that when you're running with Andy Reid, who is great coach, a lot of great years, but he's a lot older and a little stuck in his ways. And yeah, Mahomes is doing the best he can. So I think with bringing back the old OC, getting Kenneth Walker, opening up the run game, taking the pressure off of Mahomes and the passing game to always complete and convert first downs, I think it's going to be a completely different team. Jordyn Tyson would be sick, absolutely sick, but I think Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are perfectly good receivers. I mean, we've seen worse receiving cores, make it further, make it pretty far in playoffs and whatnot. But yeah, they just traded their corner, get Mansour Delane. He's just incredible prospect, the best corner in the draft. I don't think there's really anything to overthink here.
Yeah.
Place your guy.
So the big thing is that people say that because McDuffie was a later first round pick when they got him, and they are very comfortable with Spagnuolo developing these guys. They've had a good history of developing good corners, and so while you could take the best corner in the draft, their offense has just been stagnant. And yeah, they probably with Bieniemy, maybe the offense is going to get a little better, but why not just make it better immediately and go get you a playmaker? There's never too many options. Kelsey's old, although he did just sign that 3-year deal. I think Rashee Rice is going to play more of the Kelsey routes.
Yeah.
He's going to be more that gimmicky guy.
Yep.
Leave Worthy as your deep ball guy. He can play the Tyquan Thornton role from last year. And then you have a guy who's just going to be there, for first downs, in breakers, out breakers, just your do-it-all guy. I can't say enough about this pick.
You said Caleb, you said that they're good at wide receiver. What is good enough for you for a wide receiver one?
Good enough for me at wide receiver one?
Yeah, what are baseline stats?
Rashee Rice.
No, I mean
come on, bro.
When you look at a wide receiver's numbers at the end of the year, you're like, oh, he had a pretty good year. What are you looking for?
I mean, it depends on the style of offense, obviously, because I won't go all into that. But to answer your question, I'm looking at 800 to 1,200 yards. I don't know.
Sure.
6 to 10 touchdowns.
You want to know what Xavier Worthy had in 17 games?
He's not the wide receiver one, though.
He was when Rashee Rice went out.
Well, Rashee Rice was out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, if he plays a full season.
What did Worthy have,
He's
500
hitting over
yards?
that.
He had 638.
Yeah. I believe it. I
Poor
believe
Worthy.
it.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy is just
I will
a
give him
gadgety guy.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt because Travis Kelce took him out week 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You remember that? And I don't think he was
self-sabotage.
good all year. His shoulder was messed up, and he's tiny.
Yeah. He's real
Yeah.
small.
Yeah, he's tiny. He's as
Yeah.
big as my kids. But let's do this. We won't debate that any longer because we're going kind of long. I want to wrap it up. Let's roll through picks 10 through 15 real quick.
Yeah.
Pick 10, Bengals take Mansour Delane. Pick 11, Mr. Carnell Tate goes to the Miami Dolphins with Malik Willis. Wow. Number 12, Dallas Cowboys take Caleb Downs. Number 13, the Rams take Mekhi Lemon. Very interesting. Baltimore Ravens take Kenyon Sadiq at tight end, and Tampa Bay takes Jermod McCoy, cornerback. Some would argue that this is the best corner in the draft, despite his injury history. But I don't know. What's your favorite pick there, and what's your least favorite pick there? Just comment on one of them.
I mean, my favorite two players in those are Carnell Tate and Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
We already talked about them. I think in our eyes, both of these guys are already gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they made it that far. But, yeah, if you can get either one of these guys at those numbers, like, yeah, those are the best picks.
Hate
Easy.
that landing spot for Carnell, though.
Yeah.
Playing with Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
horrendous.
Defensive head coach.
yeah.
Oh.
LU, baby.
Pain. LU. Shout out Liberty.
Shout out Liberty.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Liberty,
dude,
Liberty.
I think Kenyon Sadiq going to Baltimore is also good.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews is getting up there, and last year we were like, okay, this is the year that Isaiah Likely takes over, and it just didn't happen.
Yep.
Even
And now he's
when-
been shipped off.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So they are in need of a tight end. So I do like that for the team.
There was a lot of critics I saw that Kenyon Sadiq's profile was really made up of design targets behind the line of scrimmage. You guys seen that?
Yeah.
That it was more like
that he's just fancy Elijah Arroyo.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's hard to say, right? Because we weren't coaching at Oregon. So
Right.
we can see what was on the field. One thing I can tell you right now is Kenyon Sadiq is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Ran a 4.4. He's not gonna be your blocking tight end. He's not gonna be like a Colston Loveland where he's blocking and playing on passing downs. He's gonna be strictly like a Kyle Pitts, and that's the scariest part for him, is that he's gonna be in a passing role. But if he's filling this role behind Andrews as the Isaiah Likely, that can be a very profitable spot.
Right.
And somebody who's more athletic than Likely. I think Baltimore needs weapons. I think they realize this. And I think that they really are going to try to make a final push.
Yeah.
Because they are getting to the end with, Lamar, even though he's like 30.
Yeah.
It's coming
crazy
closer
say
to an
that.
end. Isn't that wild?
It happens so fast.
Dude,
You hit a certain point in your life where years just go by so quickly.
I know.
And
Especially when you have kids.
yeah, especially when you have kids. Oh my gosh. Well, it's like you said earlier. You're like, oh my gosh, the draft is only 9 days away.
9 days.
Things have been going so fast. I remember
Crazy.
10 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, just being like, gosh, it's taking forever to get to the
Yeah.
draft. Like every day was a slog, looking for some
Yeah.
kind of NFL content. Now I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, slow down.
I need to research and
I just learned about this guy.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
learned how to pronounce Mauigoa.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is interesting to see that the Rams have, Makai Lemon going
Yeah.
right there.
What do you think about that,
Is
Gabe?
that Puka Insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Makai Lemon pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is. I've heard a lot of the reports that Devontae Adams might not even finish the season with LA.
Wow.
So yeah, that would leave just Puka, and who's our guy we liked last year?
Kanata Mumfield.
Yeah,
Shout out Kanata Mumfield. What a dog.
I really like Devontae Adams. Have you guys heard of him?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Didn't you think he was going to be really good last year?
Yeah.
Devontae.
Dude, he was sick
He
last
was
year.
great
He was he
until
had
like the end of the year.
50 touchdowns or something. Like he had a lot, man. He
Exactly
balled out.
what you predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Makai Lemon. Fun story. Not sure to take too much
ahead.
time. Me and Cameron got very into playing at college football at 25, and I was USC, and Makai Lemon was the fastest receiver in the field.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when I
That was really
played
annoying.
Cam for the first time, he was like, "Why do you keep throwing deep balls to this guy? And how is he always open?"
I believe I
Makai
said,
Lemon, dude.
you're force feeding.
I loved him, and then I saw the interviews with him, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what's wrong with this?"
Yeah, he is a
guy?"
weird. His interviews are weird. Have you seen it?
He would fit in right.
He looks like a
perfectly
lizard
with-
person.
with
He looks
Puka.
like a reptilian.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I haven't heard people talk about the
Yeah.
reptilians, but he looks like one.
You guys believe in the reptilians?
Yeah, of
You
course.
do?
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the rate right now is like 1 out of every 3 people is a reptilian.
Oh, based on reports out of New York
It
Sooners.
ain't me. It's not you.
Trey.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'll wrap it up here. Caleb talked a little bit about Delane. He is probably the best corner and safest corner to take right now in the draft. Just a great player.
Yeah.
Jermod McCoy, this guy had an ACL tear at the end of 2025, I believe it was, and didn't play this past season. But his tape in 2024, a lot of scouts say it's like the best corner tape out of any of the players by far. He just went and performed his pro day. He ran like a 4.340. Although some of his testing on the other skill drills was a little bit lacking, I think teams still really like him, and I think this is a good spot for him. Buccaneers have a weird like spot where they don't really have like a ton of like glaring needs, but you know, adding a corner after they lost Jamel Dean, I think is a good move for them.
Yeah, or O-line.
Yeah, or O-line.
I like them to see they get a little more protection.
Yeah.
O-line.
So let's go through picks 16 through 20. New York Jets take Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver. Crazy. Detroit Lions take Olavenga Ione. I don't think I'm saying that right. Olavenga, I think is how you pronounce it. Minnesota Vikings take Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. Carolina Panthers take Monroe Freeling, the OT out of Georgia. And the Dallas Cowboys, with their second pick, select Akeem Mesidor, the 25-year-old edge rusher from Miami. Guys, what's your favorite pick here? I'll tell you mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Olavenga Ione.
I was going to say the same thing.
He's probably in my mind, he's probably the best offensive lineman in this draft class.
Wow.
Dang.
He's an absolute mauler, just a beast of a man. Actually, if you look back at Penn State's tape, he was running like motion on the offense, and they'd snap the ball while he's running, and he would just take these edge rushers and just lay them out. He's just a beast of a man. He's like as safe as you can go with a first-round offensive lineman.
Yeah.
He plays guard, which is, you know, less valuable, which is probably why he's going here. But I've seen a lot of smoke around him going 14 to the Ravens. My personal feelings, I hope he falls to 21 so the Steelers can select him, or we trade up and draft him because he would be an excellent addition to this O-line and just set us up even more for a quarterback next year.
Yeah. I fully agree. I love that pick. It makes so much sense, especially with the Lions offense. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. You're very efficient running the ball. And Jared Goff is the most immobile QB I've ever laid my eyes on.
True.
Statue.
This team is like so solid and so close to making runs, yet so far away. So yeah, I think it's just a great pick. Yeah, I think that is probably my favorite pick here. My least favorite pick is probably Monroe Freeling to Carolina. But I'll let Trey go ahead before I start tearing them up.
No.
No, go ahead. Tell me.
I don't get it. I think they already have like such a solid O-line, and I don't know why you want to go and invest in more O-line. If anything, I think Carolina would be a great candidate to trade up and get one of these top three big name receivers to help Bryce Young out, to pair up with Tet. Tet has a very specific style, so I think getting like a Mekhi Lemon or Jordyn Tyson to kind of complement what Tet has, it'd be beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And giving Bryce that extra weapon, I can also see Kenyon Sadiq fall into this spot.
Yeah.
And being a huge weapon for Carolina and Bryce. This team is like the definition of in need for like offensive weapon. So I don't really understand. I always love stacking up O-line because O-line is one of the most important things I have in the game. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but Carolina needs to make some kind of jump. Carolina needs to, make some reaches maybe to really shake things up and change it in the offense.
Yeah.
I actually like Carolina taking a safety.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe McNeil Warren. Maybe they grab him instead of Minnesota. Their secondary is already sick. They're so good, and if you just beef it up with with another safety, a first round talent safety, oh my gosh, he doesn't even have to get starting reps necessarily to start the season.
Yeah,
but just to really build that secondary out. I like that. I mean, I do like wide receiver. I like the, obviously the fun picks like that, the offensive picks. But, man, when you already have like such a stout defense, and you could just beef it up even more. Maybe edge. Like I kind of feel like they also need edge. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Caleb. Like I don't think tackle is like a major need for them right now. So.
Right.
But a lot of these other teams, I do feel like these are what they need. I agree with Minnesota needing secondary help. Also, Cowboys obviously need an edge. The Jets need a lot. They need a lot of help everywhere. So wide receiver is kind of, I don't know, that one's kind of baffling to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would go, Omar Cooper right there at 16. But
I agree with that.
I like Omar.
Omar Cooper. I like Omar Cooper. Plays a lot like Rashee Rice. I just think that he's not a sure bet.
Yeah.
And it's pick 16, and you can take some of these other, O linemen, corner, safeties. I mean, there's other positions here that I like better. So yeah, I think that might be a little bit of a wasted pick by the Jets. I do agree. I think the Vikings safety is like the most set in stone pick, and it might not even be Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Yeah.
Dylan Thieneman, who is mocked at pick 30 here. This guy's a dog, and he looks just like Harrison Smith because he's a white safety, and he's actually super good.
Yeah.
No way. Actually, according to Schrager on Pat McAfee's show today, there's a lot of smoke that those three safeties could all go in the top 15 picks, which would be the first time in his entire life that three safeties went that high.
Yeah.
Because safety is not really a premium position, but it just goes to show the thinness of this draft and the talent that's at the safety position in this year's draft.
Right.
I also saw some smoke with the Panthers. Dan Morgan was talking today that they asked him about receivers. Receiver off the board. And he goes, there's no rule that you can't take receiver 3 years in a row in the first round.
Yeah.
They took Leggett 2 years ago. They took Tet last year. And this year, they could take another guy. They could take KC Concepcion, who's going to go in a few picks later here,
like that one.
which I think would be a great pick. He complements perfectly what they've got in Tet. And I just think Xavier Leggett's failed to show it on the field. But yeah, I think I think Lions taking O-line is set. Really hope it's not Olavenga. And yeah, let's go through we should talk about Akeem Mesidor. He's really good. This guy's very, very good. Played alongside Reuben Bain. The problem is he's 25 years old. This is really old. And teams he will probably drop to this level, but he has been a guy who there is consistent smoke that the Cowboys want him.
Yeah.
So maybe the Cowboys don't trade up. Maybe this is right. Maybe they can get one of these guys who drops out of that top 10 at pick 12 and then just take Mesidor at 20 and say, yeah, he's old, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
That actually wouldn't be a bad plan for them. All right, we're going to go through the last picks 21 through 32. We're going to hit all of them. We don't have to say something about every single one. Just pick out our favorites. Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 21 take T.J. Parker, the edge out of Clemson.
Ew.
The Chargers take Blake Miller at pick 22, offensive tackle from Clemson. Philadelphia Eagles take wide receiver Denzel Boston. Even more smoke for that A.J. Brown trade. Cleveland Browns finally do take a receiver. They take KC Concepcion, wide receiver. Chicago Bears take Caden Proctor, beast of a man, offensive tackle from Alabama. Buffalo Bills take defensive tackle Caden McDonald. San Francisco 49ers, Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle. Houston Texans, Max Ianacor, the offensive tackle out of Arizona State. A lot of steam about this guy coming up higher and higher and higher. Kansas City Chiefs with pick 2 take Colton Hood, the quarterback from Tennessee. Miami Dolphins take safety Dylan Thieneman. Patriots take guard Keelan Rutledge. This is a huge jump. This is a guy that was projected pick round 3, who's now jumped all the way to the first. And then Seattle closes it out with their Kenneth Walker replacement, Mr. Jadarian Price, running back, pick 32. Very reminiscent of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. All right, I just rapid-fired a lot. Y'all give me your thoughts on one or two of these picks.
2 Notre Dame running backs in the first round is kind of crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. When's the last time that happened?
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, probably Felix Jones and DeMarco Murray when they were drafted out of Arkansas. Yeah. And Peyton Hillis was on that team.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
That was wild.
What a stacked
wild.
Yeah. Peyton Hillis was playing fullback, though.
Imagine Steelers having 2 TJs on the edge.
Oh, my gosh.
Watch out for TJ.
This is probably my least favorite pick of this section is TJ Parker.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's that good of a prospect, and I don't think edge is that much of a need. I'd much rather them take the tackle, Blake Miller, who goes the pick after.
Yeah.
Don't give me TJ Parker. Don't give me Denzel Boston. don't want anything to do with Denzel Boston. A lot of people were saying the Steelers should take Denzel Boston, so they just have the biggest wide receiver room in the league. And I'm like, why is that a good thing? Why is that a thing we should be pursuing? No thanks.
Just to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Denzel Boston is a glorified Keon Coleman, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
I just like the spot because it just adds to the smoke that A.J. Brown's getting traded for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Dang.
I don't know, Cabes. Who's another pick here you like
My
or
two
don't like?
favorite picks are probably the Dillon pick from Miami. I love Dillon. I think he should be going a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Just a dog, absolute dog in the safety position that can make a difference. Where we, like you said, we don't see safety as much more of like a prominent position, but I think he'd make a difference on the defense. And then Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor is one of my favorite tackles in this draft. Like you said, just a beast of a man, just ginormous. And I love what Chicago's doing. It's one of the most fun and upcoming teams. You know, beef up the O-line, keep giving Caleb Williams more time. Yeah, I love it.
The funniest part about Caden Proctor to the Bears, it is a great fit. But if he were to go to the Bears, with Ben Johnson being such a trick play guy, Caden Proctor was catching screen passes last year at Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
At like 390 pounds.
Yeah.
This guy is massive, and his tape's like all over the place. But he's a beast of a man. I'd even be okay with the Steelers taking him at pick 21.
I really like Houston taking a tackle here.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
please.
Yep, that was my next one.
Houston has no business drafting anything else other than O-line. Please, dear God.
That O-line cost C.J. Stroud like tens of millions of dollars. Probably.
Easily.
I mean, he also cost himself
Not to
another
mention
tens
he's kind
of
of
millions.
bad.
Yeah. But oh my gosh, dude, like they were so bad last year.
Yeah.
Like, so bad. They made the New England Patriots defensive line look like the best defensive line in football.
Yep.
And they need some help. So it's a good start. It's a good start for them.
Absolutely. I like the Kalen Rutledge pick at 31 for the Patriots. Obviously, they need more O-line help, as we saw in the Super Bowl and the entire playoff run. There's like a cluster of guards in the second round.
Yeah.
Chase Bezontis from Texas, Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon, and then Kalen Rutledge, who are all they all could be interchangeable here at pick 31. But one of those guys I think is definitely sneaking in to this first round. I tell you the pick I can't stand, I hate, just horrible, is Seattle reaching on Jadarian Price.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Well,
are we serious about that one? Is that like a real thing?
That's what he's got. And I think, I just don't think he's that good of a prospect. He played behind Jeremiyah Love. He played decent, but any other class, this guy is like whatever, but because of the lack of running backs, like the drop from Jeremiyah Love to the next running back off the board, I don't even think this guy's the second best running back in the class.
Right.
And so to take him at pick 32, I get the Seahawks just won the Super Bowl, but they lost a lot of players. I think there's all kinds of good players in the second round. I think they could go O-line. I think they could go with another tight end. There's a lot of good tight ends in this class. I think my favorite pick for them would be Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Jose State.
Chris Johnson is a running back.
I know. There's a new Chris Johnson in town.
He doesn't know ball T.
Oh boy, I know he doesn't know.
No,
CJ 2K baby.
That's right. This one is CJ no Ks, meaning you're not catching anything. He is extremely good. He's done really well through the draft process. I think he's my favorite to sneak up into this first round. But all right, I don't know. Any final thoughts looking at this mock draft and looking at where we're at 9 days away from the NFL draft?
I could see Seattle trading out.
Yeah.
It's just like everything you just said. I mean, 32 and them going for a running back right there. It's just I think it's a stretch. I think it makes sense for them to trade out. I mean, it's like you said, they lost a bunch of people. That's what happens. Every year team wins a Super Bowl and then their team gets picked apart. They gets vultured. So I think that they stockpile draft picks and just hit round 2 pretty hard.
Yep.
I like that.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're finished. Let's wrap it up with this. I want to hear your hottest draft hot take. 9 days away. What's your hottest take for round 1? I'll give you mine. Is that I think Caleb Downs goes in the top 5.
Dang!
Yeah, I think Caleb Downs will go top 5.
That's
I think
hot.
there's been a lot of flame around him dropping. I just think it's all BS. I think he's going top 5. He's like the best player in this draft.
Wow. Yeah. I think he would deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best safety in the draft. Who's going to take him?
I think Giants could take him. I think Titans could take him.
Yeah.
I think even if a team really likes him and they trade up with the Cardinals, I think they might take him.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that's the level of player he is. I saw a tweet saying that somebody was talking to a bunch of NFL execs, and when they talked about Caleb Downs, these guys that never smile couldn't stop smiling, grinning ear to ear. That he's like the smartest player in the class, just a freak, and he's awesome in coverage. Like,
And a great name.
yeah, I mean Caleb, shoot.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, you look at like these dominant safeties over the years and how much they've added to their team, even at a non-premium position. Caleb Downs is that guy.
Yeah. I said this last week, but I actually think the Raiders trade out of the first spot.
I love it.
Nice.
I actually think that.
That's crazy.
And I think it would be good for them. I mean, I said it all out. This come from a Broncos fan, right? Like, but I think that it makes a lot of sense for them to trade because you look at the rest of the board and there are no quarterbacks.
Right.
Like, they're a bunch of quarterback needy teams.
Yep.
And so the amount that you could get for the number one quarterback, like, you don't know when the second quarterback is going to come off the board. And so, I mean, you look at teams like, even Arizona at 3, like, they'd probably give them the number 3 and like next year's number 1, you know? The longer I sit on that, I just think that would be the smart move for the Raiders is to, again, just kind of tank in 2026 and 2027 just take the league by storm.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Yeah, I love it.
This might be a weird overall NFL take, but I think this is such an interesting draft, and I think that we will see the most trades happen in this draft than we've ever seen. I think there are so many. I think it's just split down the middle. I think half these teams are just out on a lot of these like first-round talent and first-round players and want to trade out and get out of the way and just move up or just move out and just get value for later picks and whatnot. And I think there's other teams that have just convinced themselves of certain guys and that they need to go get them and that a lot of guys are going to move up. To add to that, I could definitely see some of these teams convincing themselves that Ty Simpson is their man and trading into the back end of the first draft or the first round and picking up Ty Simpson, like a Jets or the Browns, maybe even the Dolphins, which they have some later picks, so maybe they wouldn't have to trade anything or do anything to get him. But yeah, I could see a lot of different trades happening in this draft.
You know who's super sneaky to trade up into the back end of the first to take Ty Simpson?
Arizona?
They are one, yeah. There's another team on here that you haven't mentioned.
Pittsburgh?
Nope. It's a good team.
Upset.
Very good team. With a
Rams.
solid quarterback. The Rams.
The Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Apparently
Wow.
McVay
Makes
really
a
likes
lot
him.
of sense,
And
yeah.
Wow.
Stafford's getting old.
Yep.
So have him sit for a year under Stafford. I think that's
crazy.
if you're hoping for a player success, that's the best place for Ty Simpson to go.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
sit under
Yep.
Stafford for a year and come back out in 27 and let's see what you got.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, guys, that's what we got for today. If you disagree or agree with any of our commentary on these draft picks, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us. We're putting out videos typically every Tuesday and Thursday. And we will be live for the NFL draft, day 1, round 1, which is Thursday, April 23rd. So make sure you check out the channel there and be sure to be on the lookout for free stuff. We got lots of merch and subscriptions to the channel that you guys can take a part in. But yeah, with that, we will see you guys next week for our last show before the draft. So you guys have a great rest of your week. We will see you then. The NFL Draft Industrial Complex is full of lizard people. Watch us. It's so bananas. I can see the AI. Like, it's going to be perfect.